Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 60, episode 60. It's weird that it's been 10 episodes since we had Scuba and Willie on. That was on Halloween? Man, Halloween was already
it feels like it was
like a month and a half ago.
Feels
already.
like it was way longer ago than that.
Really?
Me.
It feels like it was like a couple weeks ago, honestly.
Quarantine must affect our brains differently.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's been 2020. It's been long and short at the same time.
Yeah, it's the weirdest year.
I am
ever.
ready for it to be over.
It's because
though.
it's short because nothing has happened all year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, a lot of stuff has happened, but
like with us, like we haven't got to do anything.
Well, yeah, I get that, but yep, it's Wednesday today after week 13 in the NFL is over. Another weekend of college football, college basketball, and just a couple days closer to the NBA starting back up. Preseason basketball starts Friday, I think. Maybe
I think
Friday or tomorrow, maybe one of the two. But I don't think any of the big name players are playing in preseason. But it's still basketball that we're going to get to watch. So
professional basketball.
Yeah, exactly. So let's just hop right into it. First thing on the news is a big one. Michigan versus Ohio State has been canceled. This is going to be the first time since. Guess what year?
1917.
Dang, man. I really wish you would.
Good.
Shut up. You knew that.
That was a guess.
Yeah. I wish you wouldn't have known. Because would you have guessed that long ago? I sure wouldn't have.
No, I probably guessed 1940 or 1950.
Yeah, I had to guess the 40s or 50s.
Yeah.
1917 was the last time that Michigan and Ohio State didn't play. They've played every single year, over 100 years in a row. It's not going to happen this week. And, it looked like Michigan was screwing Ohio State over. But it does look like the Big Ten is going to change their rule of having to play 6 games to get into the Big Ten championship game. That's a rule that's been it's just been a rule for a while now. So they're going to change it because of this year, the circumstances that we're on right now.
Which makes sense. I mean, the rules are meant to be bent right now in this moment. So there's no better time to bend the rules. Yeah, to make Ohio State in the Big Ten because it would be silly.
They are the best team in the Big Ten.
No
They're the best team in the Big Ten in general, but they should still at least to play in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at the same time, let's say they ended up not playing the Big Ten championship, the rule didn't get changed. Ohio State would probably still get in the college football playoff. So you at least want to see if they can at least win or hopefully lose. But but yeah, I mean that's it. It sucks that we're not seeing Michigan, Ohio State. I want to go back to our theory that we were talking about last week about this game possibly getting canceled. Do you think Michigan canceled this game just so they didn't have to play Ohio State and so that they could screw them over?
No, I don't
think so either.
Because I came out and there's been 120 game cancellations this year.
Really?
I think is what I read.
Wow.
And only one of them has been Michigan, and instantly everybody's like, "Oh, they're screwing Ohio State over." I don't think so. I think it's just the way it happened.
Yeah.
There's nothing intentional.
Yeah,
there's no bad
it's
intent
unfortunate.
here.
I mean, obviously, it's a big time rivalry and a lot of bad blood.
Obviously, Michigan was gonna get blown out. So that's why it looks bad.
I think it makes it look even worse, especially after Ohio State killed Michigan State last week, because a team that Michigan lost to in Michigan State, so it's just making their chances even lower. Even though I have said this, if there was going to be a year that Michigan would beat Ohio State, it would be a year that it wouldn't matter. It'd be a year that Michigan beating them doesn't do anything at all. Ohio State's still in the Big Ten championship. Next thing on the news is another cancellation. This time switching to basketball. Michigan State and Virginia supposed to play tonight. Michigan State bumped up to number 4 in the recent AP polls. I mean, I was so excited to watch this game. And it gets canceled due to Virginia having problems, not Michigan State. Virginia's game before this last week also got canceled too, so they have had a reoccurring problem going on here, which sucks because, man, State has been playing very good, and I want to see them play another big-time team. So
Me too. I wanted to see the Big Ten keep rolling because the Big Ten's been balling this year.
Been balling out, yeah. Next is some more, pretty much dealing with the same situation. Duke Coach K, came out and said this morning that he is questioning whether college basketball should continue. And, it's a little perfect timing from Coach K after Duke starts 2-2. Probably their worst start. Probably Coach K's worst start ever, I would say. I feel like there's no way they've
probably,
started. Lost to Illinois last night. Obviously, they lost to Michigan State last week. And he pretty much, with all these games getting canceled, said, I don't know if it should continue. What do you think?
I think right now, I don't think you can take it away from guys who are trying to take the next step, like reach the next level. I think it's very hard to tell these kids that, no, you just can't. Like, it might be your senior year, but I know they might give them back their eligibility. But
what do you think about Coach K saying that, though? You think he truly means it, or you think he just is saying it?
No, I do think he means it, because I don't think Coach K really cares. I think he thinks his team's going to get it together at the end of the year when it counts.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worried about him or his team not performing well this year.
I agree, too. I just kind of wanted to see what you'd think, because I agree. I mean, there's no way Coach K is like trying to get this season canceled because his team isn't good. Like, there's no way.
Because they are good.
And a lot of teams are concerned about it, but like the Big Ten really has not had any issues with COVID basketball-wise.
Other teams
so far,
like playing.
the ACC, SEC both have been kind of having a lot of issues, and we'll see. Like obviously, right now, I mean, obviously, COVID is a problem and everything, but like Easton said, these college basketball players are trying to make a career for themselves, and it's kind of hard to just take that away, especially after it got taken away in March Madness last year. The NCAA is doing their best to make everything happen, and if it gets worse, where most games are getting canceled, like then there has to be a point where it's like, okay, we need to at least take a break.
Yeah, and you can say that like it doesn't really matter because like they'll still get picked. But look at a guy like Jarrett Culver, who went as a top, he went 5th or 7th?
5th, I think, yeah.
In the draft. If it wasn't for March Madness, he would have never went
DeAndre Hunter, the same way. DeAndre Hunter was the 4th pick in that draft, and because he was played fantastic in the Final Four in March Madness. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of situations. Dante DiVincenzo was a guy who no one really even knew who he was from Villanova, and he played awesome. So
all it takes is one game.
It really does.
One game.
Especially because if you do it that high of a level in the national championship, Final Four, like teams take that into consideration. Like they are clutch players ready to play.
It's a nerve thing. They can play on the highest levels.
Exactly. Next on the news is a very interesting situation going on in East Lansing, more like down southern Michigan, down in Ypsilanti. The number one player in high school, actually, not anymore.
Yeah,
not anymore.
Chet's number one, right?
Moni Bates. Moni's still number one in his class, but in the high school rankings, like regardless of class, and Moni's been number one since he was a freshman. Now is number 2 ESPN rankings behind Chet Holmgren, which, they had a head-to-head matchup, and Chet outplayed him, so it kind of makes sense. But there's a little drama going on in Ypsilanti with Amoni Bates. Pretty much, obviously, Amoni Bates' team is the Ypsi Prep. They have a lot of highly ranked recruits on their team. One of them happens to be Jaden Akins, their starting point guard. He is a Michigan State commit in the grade above Amoni Bates in 2021. He just got kicked off of the team, and the coach is Amoni Bates' father. And pretty much it was kind of just getting that Amoni Bates and Jaden Akins weren't getting along on the court, which is it's not a good look at all, because there's been several clips, too, of Jaden Akins scoring and Amoni Bates kind of just upset that Jaden didn't give him the ball instead of, that being happy with the bucket. And two guys that are both signed to play at Michigan State, then see, it looks like both of them won't end up playing at State. Like only one of them will. Yeah. And if I had to guess which one wouldn't,
it's Amani.
I'd guess Amani.
Yeah, and this is a bad look.
It's bad look.
Not only for like Michigan State, but it's a bad look for Imani.
It really is. Yeah.
He's still young. I mean, he's still only 16, playing on the highest level in high school basketball. So these are mistakes. He's gonna have to get over this. He's not gonna be able to go his whole career with scoffing at his teammates making layups, and he will. I mean, he'll grow.
Yeah, I mean, because I love Amani Bates, but I mean, he has an ego to him.
Yeah,
but I mean, obviously, but I mean, he also is the number one player in high school. So I mean, and you're telling me a kid who's 16 that is like him isn't going to have an ego?
Exactly.
And that's why, I think a year with Tom Izzo would benefit him very well, But because Tom Izzo,
he'll knock you right down.
He do not like egos,
No.
He'll yell at anyone. He don't care who it is. And that's why I think that it would be perfect for Amoni Bates, but it's just not looking good. The fact that Akins gets kicked off the team because he was playing really well. And him and Amoni Bates, I thought were going to be future teammates. I don't know. I
feel really bad for Jaden Akins because he didn't have any control over this. He wasn't going to roll over and just let Amani take all the shots. Like, he's still a top guy in the country. So this is tough.
It just scares me with Amani because is this going to be an issue going forward with getting along with teammates and And I don't want to assume anything because obviously I don't know what's going on.
And we saw a kid with a huge ego as a kid go number 3 overall in the draft this year, or 4.
Patrick Williams?
3?
LaMelo Ball? Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, how do you knew Patrick Williams as a kid?
No, Melo had that same ego to him. And he had issues at Chino Hills with his coaches. And he's still, I mean, he grew up. There's a growing up portion.
Yeah, definitely.
He was 15 last year.
And I don't want to say that Emoni Bates hasn't, like I said, I don't know him personally, but it's kind of looking like he hasn't from the outside looking in. But yeah, it's definitely really scary. It's just making me really start to realize, like, it's hard for me to imagine Emoni Bates playing at Michigan State.
Yeah.
Like, it's at this point, I feel like it's more of a dream than a reality.
Yeah. And Jaden Akins has already signed his national letter of intent.
Yeah, I mean, Jaden Akins is probably going to go to State.
There's no reason for him not to.
And the same thing, Jaden Akins isn't he's not a one and done type guy. Like, he's not going to leave before Emoni shows up,
No, and I think Izzo is going to, I think this is, I'm not saying it's a blessing in disguise for Jaden Akins, but Izzo's going to use this to fuel the fire with Jaden Akins. Like, prove everybody
Akins
wrong.
is going to have a tough, next year he's going to come into a situation as a point guard with Foster Lawyer as a senior, Rocket Watts as a junior, and probably because right now it's between him and Aaron Henry and Hauser for who's the leader. Watts probably next year will be the solidified leader. Mm-hmm. And then A.J. Hogard, our freshman this year, is going to be a sophomore next year as a point guard.
Yeah.
Then you throw, Akins in the mix. It's like he's going to have to battle for time next year.
It's going to be, I wish, this is like a dream of mine is to go and just sit in on an actual Michigan State practice, not one of those ones like people get to sit and watch. Like one where it's like 3 people are there. Like it's just the coaches and the players. I would love to see how Izzo handles all the egos because you see it when he's coaching. The players don't have them.
No.
They're just gone. And I'd love, because there's no way Miles Bridges.
Marcus Bingham's like the only guy who has an ego.
Yeah.
But Izzo goes into Bingham though.
Yeah. And he doesn't hold, and I think a lot of guys appreciate that because they know that Miles Bridges knows I'm going in. I'm a superstar, but he's not going to treat me any different than he treats anybody else on the roster.
And Jaren Jackson the same way. Jaren Jackson, the highest recruit since Shannon Brown at Michigan State. Well, he would go at Jaren Jackson. It don't matter if you're going to be a top 5 pick. You're
treats everyone the same.
to win a college national championship. So
that's why I think Izzo has set that standard. And the kinds of players he gets all know that going in.
Exactly.
That I'm not going to be treated
People go
different.
to Michigan State to play under Izzo, to mature under Izzo. That's just what they do. But yeah, very weird situation, and I really hope that I hope there's no bad blood between those two guys too, because like I said, they're both Michigan State commits. So next on the news, Mr. James Harden, the former MVP, has been all in the headlines recently. Mainly because, Houston and all the rest of the NBA training camp started last week. James Harden never showed up. He pretty much told the team in advance that he wasn't going to show up because one of his good friends, Mr. Little Baby, had he was at Little Baby's birthday party and kind of getting a lot of shade for it.
Well, one of the problems was I don't know if you saw any of the videos from this birthday party. A lot of people there. And no masks. I didn't see a single one. And I know, whatever your opinion is, but the NBA has an opinion.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it's masks.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you believe in. For the NBA, you can't be doing that.
No.
You can't because they have a lot of restrictions and rules
that everybody else is following.
Everyone else is, yeah. Except Otto Porter. He's also been partying too.
Oh yeah, didn't he throw a bunch of parties?
He threw a couple, but who cares about Otto Porter though? But yeah, James Harden is just it's not a good look, and he pretty much told the Houston Rockets yesterday or the day before that he's open to a trade to the 76ers and other contenders, where as before it kind of seemed like you either trade me to Brooklyn or I'm going to nowhere, Yep. But if I'm the Rockets, I'm trading Harden to the Knicks, bro.
I'm trading
him somewhere. I don't care where he wants to go at this point.
No,
I love Harden. I'm
too.
a huge Harden fan, but he is just man, what are you doing? What are you? You're making yourself look like a fool.
This is the same thing that Kawhi did. I used to love Kawhi.
Yeah, but this is worse though.
No, I know, but I loved Kawhi. And then he said, "I'm not playing for you, Pop." And I was like, I don't want him. I don't like him no more. And then this is gonna be the same thing with Harden. He's just annoying. They did what he wanted. You said, "I want to play with John Wall." They made it happen. Now you're like, eh.
That's why it's a confusing situation because he said he would rather play with Wall than Westbrook. They get Wall, and then he still hasn't practice.
He seems like he's just backstabbing everybody. He told the media how much he's like, yeah, me and Russ will be back next year. We just need some more help. You just got rid of Russ, and we're happy about it.
And then, Steven Silas, the new head coach for the Houston Rockets, pretty much, he's not really happy with Harden either. And I like that. They asked him, what's going on with Harden? He's pretty much telling it straight up, like, I don't know. He goes, I ain't talked to James. He's not here. I wish he was here, but he's not. And, he's not all like, well, he could be coming soon. He's been talking, John's saying he's coming and PJ Tucker say he's coming. Like, no, he's just like, I don't know.
Yeah. And we're seeing an issue in the NBA. I think superstar treatment is getting too intense. But the problem is you can't just be a team like, I don't want James Harden.
Yeah, everybody wants James Harden.
So there's a serious issue with superstars. They know how much power they have, and we've seen a couple guys start to abuse it.
Yeah.
James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George.
Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis sat out several games as a Pelican because... And that's the thing, too. I've seen a thing that's... I saw a tweet that was like, what are some of the craziest things that players have done to force a trade? And the funniest one, it was like a thread of just people saying stuff that happened. One of the funniest things was when... I don't remember what team Dwight Howard was on at the time, but he said he was going to start shooting threes. Or no, it was when he was on Atlanta. Yeah, it was when he was playing for Atlanta. He said he was going to shoot threes the next upcoming year. So he got traded for Marco Bellinelli and somebody else, like to the Hornets. So.
And there is a difference. I think there's a slight difference with AD because it wasn't like he was on a contender. I mean, James Harden is still on a contender. Kawhi was on a contender when he did it.
A playoff team, yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a really confusing situation. Something that's why me and Easton are continuing to push off our preseason predictions and everything, because a James Harden trade could happen and it couldn't happen.
It's also ruining our fantasy draft.
Yeah, exactly.
First ever.
And you think about it. How many teams like legitimately could trade for James Harden, but yet still be like a contender, like without not trading a superstar for a superstar?
Because you have to realistically give back the assets.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. How many teams actually have the assets to give up James Harden? Probably like less than 5, I would say.
I mean, he is the biggest.
The Nets. I do think the 76ers do, but I'm hearing, Daryl Morey says he doesn't want to trade Ben Simmons or Embiid. I mean, you could do it depending on how much the Rockets want for James Harden. Tobias Harris contract matches up with James Harden. You throw Tobias Harris, Matisse Thybulle, Tyrese Maxey maybe, and then just 10 first-round picks. Yeah. but then Daryl Morey does the same thing he did in Houston and get rid of all his picks. So.
Exactly.
But Simmons, Harden, and Embiid do trio though. I'd do it. I'd do it.
Too.
But I don't think Houston would. There's not many teams that could actually trade for Harden
that are also contenders.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the Nets can, but how realistic is it? I'm not sure Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie, and Joe Harris is enough.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, and wait, Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, probably Jared Allen too. And then just like 6 firsts.
I mean, James Harden is...
I'd probably do that if I was Houston.
Yeah, I would.
Depending on how many firsts they actually throw in. Because that's just 4 nice players that are under contract too. So except for Jared Allen.
You could probably give me 2 picks and I'd be good with that. Or maybe even 1. I might take that. If James Harden's not going to play for you, you have to trade him.
And James Harden did report to Houston's training camp yesterday. But he has to test negative for, it was 7. So now 6 straight days. Every single day before he can actually start participating everything. So, and if he does test positive, then he probably has to miss 2 weeks or something. So,
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Next on the news is another NBA topic: load management. It looks like the NBA is doing their best to kind of get rid of it this year. Not really get rid of it, but crack down, like Easton said. Pretty much, they're making a rule that no load. If you don't know what load management is, it's when mainly superstars. If there's ever a back-to-back or something, it's when they sit out a game when they're not injured. Like they could play, they're healthy, but they sit out to avoid injury and stay healthy to get ready for the playoffs. And Kawhi Leonard has been a guy who's done load management. He's like the face, the name of load management. But they pretty much said that they can't, no healthy players can sit out like nationally televised games, or they called it like prime time games, which like a game against a good team pretty much, which I don't know how they're going to decipher that, but
I've always
I
thought
like
of doing
that.
it a different way. I've always thought if a player's going to load manage, let them load manage, but make their stat book. And I know this messes with stats.
Give them zeros.
Give them zeros, but you have to give minutes to the zeros.
Exactly.
So that's an issue. But like,
I get what you're saying though, because players care about their stats.
yeah, no. I mean, players are sitting there on the sidelines with their stats with
Yeah.
them, like on the floor. They're looking at them like, how many more points do I need? Like, it's a problem, and I think that's the way to fix it. Because I can guarantee you, a lot of these guys, if they start throwing in zeros,
You
at the
take
end
away
of their stat book,
Kawhi Leonard's, stats. He averaged 15 a night. But
that hurts that doesn't hurt like. That might not hurt you that year.
That hurts your
legacy.
That hurts your All-Star appearances. That hurts your All-NBA, where a lot of guys get bonuses for being All-NBA players and everything. It is a big deal.
Hurts your
stats.
legacy.
Yeah. So, but I do like that the NBA is looking to crack down on it, especially because primetime games. You have a Lakers-Clippers game and Kawhi's sitting out. Like no one wants that.
Yeah.
Just a couple more things left on the news here. Actually, one more thing. Probably the biggest news of all time in sports history. Floyd Mayweather is coming out of retirement once again to fight Logan Paul.
Unreal.
What a 51-0 against 51 actual boxers fighting a YouTuber, Logan Paul. I don't like. Okay, do you like Logan Paul? Do you like the Paul brothers?
I'm indifferent.
Okay, like I've always not liked him, but I've always liked Logan a little more than Jake. But I've never liked either of them. But I think I'm going to root for Logan Paul, because if Logan Paul were to beat Floyd Mayweather, that would be the craziest thing ever to ever happen.
In sports.
No, in the world.
That
would be the craziest thing ever.
Not quite, but yeah.
A YouTuber, kid from Vine, beating Floyd Money Mayweather. Oh my God, that would be awesome.
No,
but it also would be awesome if Mayweather just
dropped him
within like the first 20 seconds of the match.
No, this is like, I honestly think Jake Paul and Logan Paul are the most like strategic, smartest marketing geniuses.
Oh yeah,
ever.
I can't imagine how much they're both getting paid to do this.
I mean, they have to be rolling in money. Like,
Yeah, whether you win or lose.
Logan Paul's gonna go out there and get his ass
Honestly,
kicked.
Mayweather might make it last longer than it needs to. He might let the fight go on a little longer.
If it doesn't end in a knockout, I will be upset.
Yeah, he might. He might drag it on for entertainment purposes.
I mean, I don't think a Floyd fight has ended in a knockout.
Floyd don't
in
knock people out.
nine fights or something crazy.
Yeah,
Floyd,
he don't do knockouts.
He kind of ducks a lot.
So
Pau Gasol.
Yeah.
There is news of Pau Gasol looking to make a return to the LA Lakers to rejoin his brother. I think that's awesome.
that would be sick. Yeah,
I think it would be so
But
cool.
even if it's like just a player coach type role, what kind of he did with the Trailblazers last.
Yep.
I mean, because didn't he tore his ACL or something last year when he signed with the Trailblazers and kind of was just a coach for them the whole year.
He's been on he's never left an NBA
Yeah,
roster.
he hasn't retired. Yeah, he was on the Blazers the whole year last year.
He's 41.
He just didn't go to the bubble with them.
And I'm super excited. I want him to he doesn't even have to play. Just be on the Lakers.
Just be
He
there.
is the Lakers.
Like I said, he don't even have to have a roster spot. He's just there.
Yeah. He's a huge part of now, like, I think Lakers, what's the word? I don't know, but like he represents Kobe in a way. So I think it's...
And he spends a lot of time with Kobe's family, too,
yeah,
which
so
is
I think
awesome.
it's huge for him to stay involved to the Lakers.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, I do have a sports shirt on. I am wearing a flannel, but my streak is continued with the sports shirts. Just wanted to put that out there.
35 episodes?
I don't know. I don't think it's that many.
It has to be.
It's probably been like 20, 25.
Probably. It's a pretty unreal streak.
Yeah. So before we get into pretty much this whole episode is going to be about NFL. We have a lot. We're doing an NFL playoff picture, our 4.0 power ranking, and our picks, obviously. But before we get into that, I do want to talk about NBA just for a couple minutes. Because I've just been thinking a lot about how we talk about contenders, and this this guy's on a contender. How many true championship contenders, and I'm talking when I say championship contenders, I mean you could see them winning it all, are in the NBA right now?
You got to give me a few seconds. So
Well, just think about
I'm gonna
teams.
name them off.
Yeah, that's what I
So
meant.
Lakers, Clippers. I think the Nuggets. I don't see why not.
But I'm saying you picture them winning the West and winning it all.
No, I'm just gonna go Lakers,
Yeah.
Clippers. And then on the other side, winning the East, you have Celtics, Raptors, Nets, Oh man, never mind.
This isn't just winning the East. This is winning the whole entire thing.
Then
Beating
it's
the West
Celtics, Nets. I'm forgetting somebody in the East.
Probably the Bucks.
And the Bucks. I'd say 5 contenders.
Yeah, I would say Lakers. Lakers, Clippers, Bucks for sure. Nets, maybe, because I just don't know about the Nets are so interesting. Like I just don't know how they're gonna do this year. Celtics, yes, I will give it to the Celtics. And the Miami Heat. I'll give it to the Miami Heat. Do I give it to the Miami Heat though? No, I can't.
No, they could. I don't know. Here's an issue with that statement. It's like
because we say contenders.
Somebody can make a run.
There's different levels of contenders. There's the winning it all. There's the winning. Just making it to the finals is different. Especially in the West, not really, but for the East, like there's probably 5 different teams I could say that would make the finals in the East. And then there's the conference. Like let me name off some teams, and you tell me their ceiling. Okay. The Denver Nuggets. What is their ceiling? Right now, with their team, like this, like their current roster, like just for this year.
Finals.
You think their ceiling is the finals?
Yeah, I really do, dude.
Yeah, it depends. Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, second round.
I think I would go with conference championship or conference finals. I meant I would go conference final. I like the Blazers team.
Okay.
Toronto Raptors.
Conference finals.
Yeah.
I don't see them making the finals.
Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, conference finals.
Really?
That's their ceiling.
You think they could make the conference finals?
Yeah, dude. Trae Young's a monster.
Well, yeah. I don't know though. It's no, it's tough. You just gotta just a couple more. I'm just trying to think of teams off the top of my head here. Ooh, new look Washington Wizards. What's their ceiling? And a ceiling could also be playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
You like first round exit pretty much?
First round exit is their ceiling.
I would say their ceiling is second round. Like I could see them like maybe being like the 5 seed and beating like a 4. Like if let's say they played like the Pacers in the first round. I don't know.
But with Thomas Bryant.
No, they're first round exit. I heard a lot of that Thomas Bryant was going to break out this year.
He's a great offensive talent, but apparently he sucks at defense.
Yeah.
Him and Davis Bertans, you're going to suck at defense.
One more. Let me think of a Western Conference team. Another West. Let's go with the
Pelicans.
Yeah, the Pelicans. It was between Pelicans and another team.
I think the Pelicans can make. I think they could be a first round exit. I see them making it as an 8 or 7 seed first round exit.
I think that their ceiling is play-in tournament. Like being but not making it though.
Yeah,
like being one of those teams that is in the play-in tournament. But here's another one: Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, first round exit is their ceiling.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Triple J is a monster. What was his nickname that Kenny gives him? There's a nickname there.
I don't know. It's not Triple J.
No, there's something else.
Oh yeah, it's like
like Trish or something.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I actually do know.
Trey J.
Trey J. Yeah, that's what he says. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to say that. Oh, last one. Detroit Pistons.
First overall pick.
That's the ceiling.
Worst team in the league.
Oh yeah, easily. But yeah, we're gonna have what's the date today?
December 9th?
The 9th. So next Saturday is gonna be our predictions.
No matter what.
Next Saturday. Yeah, because that's gonna be the 19th. Yeah, that's gonna be our predictions episode. And I'm super hyped for that because I've been preparing for that episode for a while.
Yeah.
So now we're on to some nonstop NFL news. NFL playoff picture right now. Let's go through the current standings in the AFC. The 1 seed is still the Pittsburgh Steelers despite their loss. 2, Kansas City. 3 is Buffalo. 4 is Tennessee. Those are all 4 of the division leaders. And then the 3 wildcard teams are Cleveland, Miami, and Indianapolis. And then the 3 teams that I wrote down all the in the hunt teams, but then I wrote down the ones that like actually
are in the hunt.
The Raiders, the Ravens, and the Patriots. I did include them. And technically, Denver and Houston are still in the hunt. Like, they haven't been eliminated, but yeah. And then in the NFC, the 1 seed with the first round bye currently is the New Orleans Saints. Then we have the Green Bay Packers, LA Rams, and New York Giants. And then in the wild card, we have the Seahawks, Bucks, and Vikings. And just in case you know, every team in the NFC could still make the playoffs. There has not been a single NFC team that has been eliminated. And there's like 3 in the AFC, the Chargers, Bengals, and Jets.
That's insane.
Yeah. But the ones that I put, that actually I do think do have a shot are the Cardinals, the 49ers, the Redskins, the football team. And then I put the Bears and the Lions on there because
they're still there.
They're one game. Both those teams are one game out of the playoffs. And then technically the Falcons, Panthers, Eagles, and Cowboys are still in the hunt. But there's no way that the Panthers and Falcons make it. And then the Eagles and Cowboys, they could if they win their division. But both those teams just suck. So
how insane would it be if the Lions got into the playoffs as a wild card?
That'd be nuts.
They fire their head coach.
All they got to do is win because they play against 4 playoff teams to end the year.
They have to win.
They just got to win. It's not like they have to win and then hope for some other teams to lose. They just got to win out, dude.
Which is dope.
And they should get in.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Knowing that nothing else can keep us from the playoffs.
They should. That should be what happened at least. I mean, I guess there is a way that it doesn't, but whatever. But right now, let's go through the matchups if this were to be if the playoffs were to start right now. So in the AFC, we would have Pittsburgh on a first-round bye, so we would have Kansas City versus Indianapolis. Who's winning?
Kansas City.
Yeah.
No question.
Next, we would have Buffalo taking on the Miami Dolphins.
Buffalo. You might see an upset, though.
I'm going Buffalo. There. A couple teams both that are inexperienced, a couple inexperienced quarterbacks in the playoffs, but
really inexperienced for Tua. He's just inexperienced in general.
And then the last one is the most interesting one because this game just happened last weekend. Tennessee versus Cleveland in Tennessee. If that matters.
I'm going Cleveland again. Cleveland dominated the Titans. They look
surprising.
Unreal.
I mean, Baker has he's so weird, dude.
He's so up and down.
He'll just have games where he just plays like an MVP, and then next week he'll probably throw for 100 yards and have 2 picks.
We were discussing this as me, Jack, and Seth. There is no better team in the NFL for Baker Mayfield to play on. He just fits Cleveland. He just works there. We can't explain it. The commercials, they just make sense.
Yeah.
He is so Cleveland, it's unreal.
He's Cleveland has their first winning season now, technically. I can't remember how long. It's been a long time since they've had a winning season.
I'm so happy for Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I love his attitude. Who did they beat 2 weeks ago? Not the Titans. The week before that, they beat somebody.
They beat. It was a bad team. It was either Houston or Jacksonville. It was one of those two.
Jacksonville, I think.
Yeah.
But he went on Twitter immediately. He's like, I know we won, but I didn't play good enough. I need to step it up. Next game goes out and throws that well. Come on now, that's Cleveland.
So the team, if you had to pick a team out of the AFC, out of those 7 I named, to make the Super Bowl, who is it?
Kansas City.
Yep.
Easy.
I am also going to go Kansas City, yeah. NFC's a little tougher, though. So in the NFC right now, New Orleans would have a bye. So we would have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Minnesota Vikings in a NFC North battle. Who are you going with?
You got to repeat that. I was yawning.
Green Bay at Minnesota.
Green Bay. Minnesota could win that game.
Because Minnesota did upset Green Bay earlier this year, but
pretty handedly.
I'm gonna go Green Bay. It's the playoffs. I hate to root for them. I'd root for the Vikings, but I'm gonna go Green Bay. Next, we'd have this is an interesting matchup right here. LA Rams versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And before you do tell me, the NFC is gonna be the NFC part of the playoffs this year is gonna be awesome because there isn't a lot of a lot of these teams aren't as far as just how good they are, they're all pretty much in the same bunch. The Saints are pretty much the only team that's kind of out in front by themselves. And even at that point, I could see the Saints getting upset.
Well, especially with Drew Brees coming back from injury.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going to be, he'll be full strength, but he took a break. I mean, it's not the best thing in the world for a quarterback.
So who you going with? LA Rams, Tampa Bay Bucks.
I've been high on the Bucks all year. I think
I'm on the bandwagon.
Hopping on the Rams bandwagon. I just don't.
You're picking the Rams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just saying you've been hopping on the Tampa Bay bandwagon.
Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. They don't look very good.
I'm going Rams too. I definitely hopped on the Rams bandwagon a couple weeks ago, and I still like the Rams. And then we have a game, the 4-5, another game that just happened last week. The New York Giants versus Seattle Seahawks. New York Giants would have home field advantage in this game. Is it going to be Colt McCoy at quarterback or not?
Is it enough? I still have the Seahawks in this
I cannot believe the Giants beat the Seahawks.
The Giants didn't look bad either.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Seahawks looked awful.
Without Daniel Jones. I mean, I know Daniel Jones, the past couple weeks he's actually been
pretty
decent. Good. Just better than bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to go Seahawks too. But who is your NFC favorite, though?
I think it's the Saints, but I could go with the Rams.
Uh-huh.
And if Tampa Bay makes it, it will not surprise me.
It's tough to count out Tom Brady. It always is.
We always try every year.
Yeah.
Everybody tries to count him out, and he's so hard to count out.
Well, because
I think this.
Yeah.
Again, I said this last year. I think this might be the year. Who knows?
For me, it's definitely between the top 3 seeds, between New Orleans, Green Bay, and the Rams. Seattle is another team where I could see them, sneaking in. But
GB.
It's tough to count out Green Bay because but if I had to pick a team, I'm going with healthy Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints because Drew Brees, I think, is coming back this week. I'm pretty sure.
I think so, but Taysom Hill even looked good last week. Atlanta made him look good.
Yeah, but Atlanta's defense is bad,
Awful.
But Taysom Hill looked great.
He looked like a normal quarterback.
Yeah. So, I really hope that the Lions can sneak in the playoffs, and we'll see what happens. But are you ready to hop into our Week 14 high-tempo 4.0 NFL Power Rankings?
Yes, I am.
4th edition of this. I would love to look back at our first Power Rankings and see how much they changed, but we do have one more after the 5th one is Week 17, so I guess we can kind of compare them.
I'm curious actually now. Like we can do like a +4, +5 where we had them.
Like where was who was number 1? Probably
mine was the Chiefs.
Probably the Chiefs.
I think yours was Pittsburgh.
No, I didn't have them. I didn't have them number 1 until they were the only undefeated team. Well, let's get right into it. The bottom actually has kind of changed a lot from last time, surprisingly.
Well, not the bottom 2.
Well,
bottom 3.
But like just the bottom half.
Yeah.
Number 32, the New York Jets. I do kind of want to talk about just all their games that happened last week while we discuss the teams. The Jets, man. They have to have lost that game on purpose, right?
Have to have.
They fired their defensive coordinator right after the game. They fired him.
I've been in that same situation before where we send the house at the end of a half or quarter or in this case the game.
Why?
There's no point when they're that deep. When that far away from the goal.
Yeah, especially when you have Henry Ruggs, one of the fastest players in the NFL, running a 9 route to the end zone.
It was the worst play call I've seen since Marshawn.
I mean, they bring the Jets look like they're gonna win. I was even texting Easton, "Oh my God, the Jets are gonna win," and then I was like, "Oh no, they didn't." But I didn't even see how they lost. But yeah, they brought the full blitz with less than 10 seconds in the game. Derek Carr throws a 60-yard touchdown to Henry Ruggs to win.
I mean, it's got to be the worst play call since the Seahawks throwing the ball, right?
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, at the same time, maybe they want to go win this.
Maybe that was their goal. But at that point, you just don't throw a corner out there.
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
I know. Or just don't be winning at that point in the game. Why do you have 4 touchdowns, you know?
Exactly.
Who knows? Jets, they suck. Number 31, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah,
1-11. But Jacksonville, they're
like
bad.
the Jets.
They're bad, but they have literally almost won like 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. They went to overtime with the Vikings and could have won that game, but Mike Glennon threw a horrible interception in overtime. That was a really like crazy ending to that game.
I haven't watched a single Jags game all year. I didn't even know Mike Glennon was the quarterback right now.
Well, yeah, because he just is. Yeah, they got like 3 dudes who've been playing. But they're gonna get they're gonna get Justin Fields or maybe Trevor Lawrence. Who knows?
One of the two.
Number 30, I got the 2-9-1 Cincinnati Bengals.
I also have the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. They don't have Joe Burrow.
If Joe Burrow was on their team right now, I don't think they'd be 2-9-1, but they wouldn't be this low. But without Joe Burrow,
they're bad.
Their offense is kind of been their only good part about them, and their offense isn't much without Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
Number 29, I have the Dallas Cowboys at 3-9.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, and Dallas, they suck really bad. They played against the Ravens last night on Monday Night Football or Tuesday Night Football. Yeah, for Tuesday Night Football, and their defense is so bad. Oh my God, Lamar and them. They had almost 3. They might have had 300 rushing yards by the end of it, but I know they had at least 280 something late in the fourth quarter.
Day.
Yeah, field day. Dallas, they suck. There's no way they're gonna win that division.
My next team is gonna be. I don't know. Maybe it's not surprising to you. My next team is the 0-6 in their last 6 weeks. Chicago Bears at 28.
At 28, yeah.
They have been awful.
I was close to putting them at 28. I was right about to put them at 28, but I had to put the LA Chargers at 28 after losing 45-0 to the New England Patriots, to a quarterback in Cam Newton who, no offense, Cam Newton, threw for 80 yards and 2 picks the previous week. 80 total passing yards the previous week, and they go out and get beat 45-0. I mean, I love Herbert, man. I was going to wear my Herbert jersey for a second time. I couldn't. It was too embarrassing. What the heck, Herbert?
But I've got Chargers a few spots higher, but
they're
3-9.
They're
Awesome
bad.
loss or awful loss.
And then at 27, I have the Chicago Bears. I'll just say it.
27, I've got the Cowboys.
Okay, yeah. So 5-7 in their last, 0-6 in their last 6. Absolutely blew the game against the Lions. And by the way, I'm back to picking the Lions every week. Just going to spoil it. Of course, the one week I don't pick them, they win. But they blew it against the Lions. Literally, I turned off the game, blew it. They blew the game so hard. And it was awesome to see the Lions getting so excited about that game. They were really passionate.
When AP scored and they were just freaking out.
They were really passionate. When Okwara got that fumble, and Stafford on the sidelines looking for his helmet, freaking out. They were... they looked happy, and that's all. Whether we're winning or losing, whether we're making the playoffs or tanking for a pick or just finishing in the middle, which probably will happen, is if they're having fun, I'm fine with it because that's something that I haven't seen in a while. Matt Stafford, he hasn't looked like he's been happy,
excited.
Yeah,
they look
and their last game, and it's that's Matt Patricia's gone, and
Bob Quinn is gone.
That is awesome. 26.
Sadly, 26 is the Detroit Lions for me.
They're still. I don't have them much higher.
They're not very good at football.
No, they're still. I mean, they still barely beat. They won on kind of some bullshit. Just some crate. They should.
It's like the Hail Mary.
They should really have won. Yeah. 26 for me was the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-8-1. Jalen Hurts is gonna look like he's gonna take over, and I was gonna put the. That's why what was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna put the Eagles lower. But when Jalen Hurts came in the game, they kind of made a little mini comeback against the Packers.
Instantly threw a touchdown.
And so Carson Wentz is looks like he's done in Philly. So we'll see. 25 for you.
I've got the LA Chargers.
25, I got the 4-8 Atlanta Falcons. And I'm just going to say I have the Lions at 24 just because the Lions beat the Falcons, so I just got them one spot higher.
Yeah, I've got 24 Atlanta Falcons.
Okay, so we're going to have the same 23 now.
And there's nothing to say about Atlanta. They are the most boring roster.
I got Calvin Ridley. They're a good offense, bad defense. That's pretty much how they are. 23, I got the Denver Broncos.
I also have the Denver Broncos.
A team that I wanted to put lower, but I
don't think they're that bad.
They played good against the Chiefs on Sunday night, or was that Monday? I think it was Monday night.
Drew Lock is back.
Yeah.
I could watch that guy. He plays so emotional while playing football.
Yeah.
He wears his emotions. You can tell exactly how he feels at every point in the game. I love it. I could watch that kind of quarterback all the time.
Yeah, Denver is a team that I thought was going to be good this year. Faced a lot of injuries early in the year. Next year, I expect them to be pretty good. 22, I have the Carolina Panthers.
Also have the Carolina Panthers at 22.
A lot of 4-8 teams in here.
And Carolina would be a lot better if C-Mac was still in the roster. Not a lot better, but definitely top 20.
Yeah, 21, I have, rounding out the 4-8 teams, the Houston Texans.
I also have the Houston Texans.
Top 20 is all going to be the same. Number 20 for me is surprisingly the NFC East leader, New York Giants at 5-7.
At 20, I couldn't bring myself to bring them very high. As much as I wanted to put them up higher than what I have them at, the Washington football team still is not very good. They pulled out a huge win over an undefeated team, but I'm not going to overrate them based off that one game because they still aren't a very good football team.
They're really not that bad, though.
No, they're not all. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson.
I could see them winning the division. I could. And the thing is, in a playoff game, I don't think they'll get killed. They won't win, but they won't get killed. I have Washington at 19, one spot above the New York Giants. There was no way that I could split these two teams apart.
Yeah, I've got 19, the Giants.
Yeah. And I did originally have the Giants above the football team, but I had to put, just because of the Steelers win, I had to put them one spot ahead. Antonio Gibson, pretty much the guy who's been running their offense, he pretty much touches the ball on every play. Got hurt early in that game. Alex Smith played pretty well, and their defense too is kind of what's been playing. Their defense is pretty solid. Had to go with the Washington football team.
And Terry McLaurin is
over
a
the
dog.
Giants. Yeah.
He is a dog.
The Giants, too, at 20, like I said, had a crazy win over the Seahawks. I have Wayne Gallman in fantasy. Shout out to him for having like 130 yards.
18. I've got the New England Patriots. Okay, so when this...
Weird team, man.
Yeah, because at the start of the
Weird
year,
team.
I was so high on them. I was like, Belichick's going to take Cam Newton, revive his career. He didn't do that, but somehow they're still winning football games, like every once in a while. And I don't get it. I don't know. They're still not very good, but they're top 20.
I have the San Francisco 49ers at 18, and I'll just say I have the Patriots up one spot ahead
I've
of
got the 49ers at 17.
Yeah, so we just have them flopped again there. I took the Patriots because, they had a huge win. The Niners are, they're still a team that is pretty good. I really hope that they start losing more games so it give the Lions a better chance at making playoffs. But, both of these teams are really shaky, especially the Patriots, though. I mean, they've won 2 straight now, 3 straight.
They don't have a consistent part of their game.
I think they won 3 straight because they beat the Ravens, Cardinals, and now the Chargers, And the thing is, they have really only played good in, one of those games. So,
So I don't know what's going on down there.
Very weird.
49ers are excellent to watch sometimes, and sometimes they're awful to watch. Nick Mullins
is actually,
up and down.
he might be better than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Whoa.
Jimmy Garoppolo's not very good, dude. He really isn't.
I mean,
He's really not that good.
he did lead one
He's
of
nothing special.
I know he's not that special, but to say Nick Mullins
He's not
as
the
good
future.
as him,
He's
no.
not the future of the Niners.
No.
But I'm saying that
might
Mullins does the job, though. Mullins is one of 3 quarterbacks he's the 3rd fastest quarterback to, I forget, it was some amount of yards in his first 13 starts. He has the 3rd most yards in his first 13 starts in NFL history.
Oh, that's actually
only with
interesting.
Mahomes and somebody else.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
Mullins isn't bad.
I've
I've
never seen it,
I don't
yeah.
think he's as good as Garoppolo, but I also don't think Garoppolo's very good.
No.
So, top 16, we're gonna have the same teams moving into the upper half.
16, I have a team that I wanted to put higher because I have both Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen. I've got the Minnesota Vikings.
I also have the Minnesota Vikings, a team that has also had a really weird year. They started the year 1-4 or 1-5, have been rolling as of late. Kirk Cousins has actually been playing some good football, except for in their game against Jacksonville.
Sparty alum right there.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins guy now that he's in the league, though. I mean, now that he's a Viking, I guess.
Yeah.
15, I got the LV Raiders.
I've got them a little bit higher. 15, I have the Miami Dolphins.
Ooh,
just because
4, you're high on the Dolphins.
Yeah, but I'm not sure about their quarterback situation.
Their defense has been playing outstanding.
Absolutely.
Been carrying that
They've
team.
had a lot of issues at quarterback. Randomly benching Tua during games. Who's getting the start this week? Fitzpatrick still wants the job.
Very inconsistent backfield as well.
So I'm going with the Dolphins.
But their defense has been excellent, yeah. I went with LV at 15 because they almost lost to the freaking Jets, dude.
Yeah.
You can't almost lose to the Jets and be high.
And they're not high on my list.
I know, but they played like dog. And the Raiders are a team that I really was especially after they barely lost to the Chiefs the second time, I was like, this Raiders team is nice. Mm-hmm. And then they lost to some crappy team, and now they almost lost to the Jets. I don't know what the Raiders are doing. Very confusing team. A lot of confusing teams in the league.
Very.
14.
14 is kind of crazy, and I'm gonna. It's the Arizona Cardinals at 14.
I got the Arizona Cardinals at 14 as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
They're 6-6.
They are one Hail Mary away from losing 5 football games in a row. That is not a good look.
Really? I didn't even think about it like that.
It is. This is bad. Kyler Murray said it in the post-game interview. He said, our offenses came to a halt. He's not even throwing a D-hop anymore.
And exactly what we said needs to happen started happening. Ain't that nuts?
It's crazy.
We literally said, okay, the loser of this Thursday night game between the Seahawks and Cardinals needs to start losing. Cardinals lost, and then they've lost 4 straight now.
Yeah.
Awesome for the Lions. But I do like Kyler Murray and D-hop. Who doesn't? The Cardinals at 6-6, they have looked pretty poor as of late.
Yes, very. 13, I've got the LV Raiders.
And I have the Miami Dolphins at 13.
Okay, same top 12.
And the thing is, if the LV Raiders did play Miami right now, the Raiders probably would win, but I don't know.
I don't know. I have no
Miami
idea.
at 13, it does seem like a little high for I know they're 8-4 and everything, but they have a true test this week against the Chiefs. I'm not saying they have to win, but just seeing how they play against the Chiefs will really show me if they're legit or not.
Yep. If pretenders or contenders,
exactly.
as Colin Coward says.
Number 12.
Number 12, I have a team that hasn't been playing well at all. Mike Vrabel might have the worst offensive set in the whole NFL. He doesn't give the ball to Derrick Henry.
At times, yeah.
And I don't get it. It's the Tennessee Titans. I don't understand Mike Vrabel. He is an awful offensive coordinator. I thought the Lions had bad play calling, so I watched the Titans game.
I got the Titans as well at 12. They another weird team. Played against the Colts 2 weeks ago. Played absolutely phenomenal. Like Derrick Henry feasted. Then they go play a Browns team that everyone is pretty much saying this Browns team is fake. You know, the worst,
like the Steelers,
worst
like
8-3, yeah, worst 8-3 team ever. Should be a cakewalk. I picked the Titans, and then the Browns. Okay, the Browns killed them at first, and then the Titans made a comeback, but it didn't matter.
43 points is 43 points. It's a lot of points to give up in a football game.
Oh yeah, I got Titans at 12 though.
11. Another team that last week had a very nice goal line pick. Indianapolis Colts. Interception late in the game to seal the deal. It was not looking good for him, though.
I got the Colts as well because it's another thing where I don't think I've separated the Colts and Titans in these power rankings all year. They're such similar teams. I mean, and it's tough for me to put the Colts over the Titans because they lost to the Titans 2 weeks ago. But I had to if I had to pick one team to go out and win a game, I do think the Colts are going to end up winning this division. They are a little bit more consistent than the Titans, I would say. I
agree.
Top 10, we're going to have the same 10. This is a little weird. We've been having a pretty similar list. This is very weird.
My number 10 is going to be, it's not surprising. They're right where they should be. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've got them. I am off the bandwagon. No longer a top 5 football team in my eyes. And they have dropped away.
Very surprising. Very. I love to see it. Number 10 for me, though, is the Baltimore Ravens, actually. I don't have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
The Ravens are a team that I actually kind of expect to start rolling with their big win over the Cowboys last night. They were losers of 3 straight. That's kind of why I have them at the bottom of this top 10. But even though they have a worse record than the Colts, Titans, and Dolphins, I'm still taking them to win a game over any of those 3 teams.
My number 9 is the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't have much to say.
Speaking of the Baltimore Ravens, that is something we forgot to talk about. Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was warming up for their game against the Cowboys last night, making his return to Dallas. It would have, first game back in Dallas since retired, was going to be a big deal. And he gets taken off the field to get tested for COVID.
No, his test came back.
No. He had to go get tested.
Oh.
Yeah, they tested him. And he was positive for COVID, and he had to leave. And he tweeted his whole story. That I got pulled off the field, had to go get tested, and then I was positive. And then he said, I quit. I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore. And he's done for the rest of the season, he said. And then that's why I randomly thought about it, because there was an ESPN alert that said, because Dez Bryant thinks what happened was wrong. He thinks that him getting tested but it is weird, though. I mean,
it is weird, but he tested positive.
Usually players, the testing happens way before the game starts. But he was warming up for the game, and then he went and got tested. It would be different if he got his results back, but it says this just in. The NFL says it followed COVID-19 protocols with Ravens wide receiver Dez Bryant incident. So
maybe he could be not truth in there.
Yeah, who knows?
But the picture of him drinking wine made it seem like it wasn't that big a deal to him. So,
I mean, he's just done, yeah.
Yeah.
But number 9, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
So we just flipped those. Same top 8, man. Crazy.
Let's
see. Number 8. Big win over the Titans, Cleveland Browns. They look good. They have the best backfield in football with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. And Baker Mayfield, if he's playing well, this team is
OBJ,
very hard to
Donovan
beat.
Peoples-Jones had himself a big game. Rashad Higgins been playing really good.
When OBJ comes back, I would be worried if I'm other teams in the NFL. Because even OBJ said he's loving it. He loves being in Cleveland. They're winning, which he's never
not
been.
coming back till next year.
Yeah, but I'm saying next year, teams should be scared.
Number 8, big loss this week. The Seattle Seahawks, 8-4. Lost to the Giants, man. You can't be losing a game like that, especially when you're trying to, get in first place in your division. They had the keys handed to them to take first place, and they didn't. So number 8 is the Seahawks, and number 7 for me is the Cleveland Browns.
And my number 7 is the Seahawks. Russ needs to turn it up.
We've had so many flip-flops.
Mr. Unlimited, Danger Russ needs to step it up. Because this team's sliding. He's their leader. And they need to make a push now.
Yeah, the Browns, though, I mean, they have another test on Monday night against Baltimore this week, and that's going to be a good game. I'm interested.
Me too.
Number 6 for me is my NFC favorite, the NFC. The LA Rams at 8
Dude,
and
we
4.
might have the same top 6.
We might.
Mine is the LA Rams at number 6. Their defense
Not much to
is
say.
unreal.
Yeah, their defense. They are inconsistent though. Jared Goff last week had a great game. Week before had a horrible game. You know, it's just like another. I mean, it's not like their whole team is inconsistent, but Jared Goff is.
You'd
sure.
rather be inconsistent than consistently bad,
True.
right?
Yeah, but if you're consistently bad, then you get a top pick.
But not your quarterback. Not
Because
just your
consistently bad is like 0-16, right? The Jets are consistently bad.
No, I mean they should have won.
I guess.
My number 5.
Top 5.
The Buffalo Bills at number 5. Josh Allen is a gunslinger.
He had a big game on Sunday
He is
night.
a baller.
Or Monday night. God,
He's
I
one of
keep
my
getting
favorite.
them
He's
mixed
a goober. He looks like an absolute goober. I love Josh Allen. I could watch him play all day. I'm probably getting a Stephon Diggs jersey because he just looks so good in the blue. The Blue Bills jersey.
Yeah.
Who's your number 5?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Josh Allen, had like 370 yards, 4 touchdown passes, no picks. Turnovers has kind of been a problem for him this year and inconsistency, but he was like 32 of 39 or 32 of 40 in that game. Like a crazy game for him. Beat a good San Francisco defense, best defensive coordinator in football, and Robert Saleh.
And you saw that route that Stephon Diggs ran on Richard Sherman.
Diggs is nice.
He's got to be a top 5 or top 3 route runner.
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
league.
if I want to do a list at the end of this year basing our top 10 wide receivers and running backs strictly based off of this year.
Yep.
Because, a guy like Diggs is going to be high on that list, so. Number 4.
I've got the Green Bay Packers at number 4. They are just they look up and down. I don't even remember, what was their game like last week, though? Who did they play? I watched it.
They played like this very last. They played the Eagles. They played.
Because Tunyon and they looked good until Jalen Hurts got in the game.
Yeah,
I don't know,
but it wasn't enough to like where the game was in danger or nothing.
But they might have gotten lax.
Yeah, because they're not like I also had the Packers at 4. They're not like inconsistent or nothing, but I do get what you're saying. They're just at times they're kind of like.
Come on, guys,
like,
let's go.
I could see this team losing a playoff game.
Well, I think when you see a starting quarterback get pulled, though, you kind of relax a little.
Yeah,
so
true. And like I said, it wasn't enough to where the Eagles were going to come back and win the game.
No.
It was just like not
what's
that
going
big of
on
a deal.
here?
Yeah, and then they played the Bears, 2 weeks ago, and absolutely dominated them. So, top 3.
Same top 3, which I'm not surprised by, but you might be surprised by number 3.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have the same
Pittsburgh.
one. It's Pittsburgh.
See, and that is that. When I wrote it down, I was like, 1 loss, but the Saints have 2.
Here's the thing. So the reason I have Pittsburgh at 3 is I finally have a reason to not have them at 1. Mm-hmm. Because they, if they were to win that game against Washington, even if they barely won off some Hail Mary bullshit, and let's say the Chiefs killed the Broncos, because they really didn't. I would still take Pittsburgh at 1 because I have to.
You can't not.
But I have an excuse to move them out of 1 now because clearly they're not the best team in football. Now, I don't want to hear this Steelers have had the easiest schedule in NFL history bullshit. Like,
they don't control it.
They don't control it,
win.
man.
They win the games they're scheduled to play.
The Pittsburgh's a good team. Like, they are a Super Bowl contender for sure. They're the 3rd best team in football in my eyes. That's still a very good team. But they are just not the best team in football.
So we had the exact same top 6.
Well, what's your 2 and 1?
My Saints are number 2. Number 1 is the Chiefs.
I'm playing. I got the same.
That wasn't funny. I was going to roast your ass.
I did think about it though because the Chiefs did, have a close one against the Broncos, and New Orleans is getting Drew Brees back, especially after Taysom Hill played really well. I expect Taysom Hill to even probably still get snaps at QB like he usually does, maybe even more. The Saints, the team I picked to win the Super Bowl at the beginning of the year. They started off kind of slow, are really looking like that Super Bowl contending team again.
Yeah, absolutely. They are legit.
So we had the same top 6. We had the same top 10, except our 7, 8, and 9 and 10 were
same
flopped.
top 16.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, and I texted you and I said our
lists are going to be different.
And I usually say they're going to be the same.
Yep.
That's what it is.
It was that. That's what sold it. What you don't know is you actually sent me a picture of your power rankings at the back.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't even notice.
No, I didn't.
I know. I was playing.
Oh.
Like, wait a minute.
So, do you want to get into our picks for this week?
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into our picks. Go ahead and press the button.
Weekly picks, it's the weekly picks. It's the high tempo weekly NFL picks.
Yes.
Weekly picks, high tempo edition. Week 14. All 16 games this week. No buys. Or wait, we have to say who won last week.
Yeah, who won? Does this week even matter?
Easton has to win out to even have a chance. I'm up 8-4. I got 8 out of 15 last week. And Easton had himself a day. Woo. 11 out of 15. That might be the most.
Highest. That might be the
I
most.
think 10 was the most. Well, because you had 12 out of 15. And I was like, but we only had 3 games that were different. Yep. So I was like, there's no way he has 12. And I figured out which one it was. Yeah, so, 11 out of 15. So he's got to start rolling.
That's got to be worth 4 points, setting the new record. So
I'm now up 8-5 with what, 4 weeks left?
Yeah, I have to win out.
Yeah, 4 weeks left. He's got to win out. If I win a single one, it's over. So let's get into it. Thursday night football. We have the 6-6 New England Patriots at the 8-4 Los Angeles Rams.
Go Rams.
Going Rams as well. But New England, you never know. Next, the 4-8 Houston Texans at the 5-7 Chicago Bears.
As much as I want the Bears to lose, I'm still picking the Bears.
I was going to, but they're going to keep losing. It's funny. Okay. It's pretty funny. So I'm going with Houston. Next, we have the 6-6 Arizona Cardinals at the division-leading 5-7 New York Giants.
Arizona has to bounce back. I'm not counting them out. They have to win this game, Arizona.
I'm picking Arizona. I don't want Arizona to win. I'm still going to root for New York, but I'm picking Arizona.
That'll probably be the first time I've ever rooted for. Actually, I'm rooting for Arizona because I have to root for my picks. I can't afford to lose.
That's the thing. Like I'm cool with rooting against my pick. It's just one of them, so whatever. Next, we have the 6-6 Minnesota Vikings at the 7-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a big game as they are 6-7 in the playoff race right now.
This is a game where I think we're going to see Dalvin Cook struggle to run the ball against Tampa Bay's linebacker and core, but I'm still going with Minnesota here over Tampa.
I'm going with Tampa. They're coming off of a bye. Chris Godwin's been kind of banged up. Hopefully he's coming back from injury, and I'm going with Tampa mainly because it's big for the Lions if the Vikings lose. Next, we have the 3-9 Dallas Cowboys at the 2-9-1 Cincinnati Bengals, a game that just does not matter.
Does not matter. Probably the most. It's just picking the best of the worst.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas is better, but I picked Cincinnati because Dallas is really bad.
Yeah, they are.
But I can't go back against my pick, but I'm going with Cincinnati. Next, we have the 4-8 Denver Broncos at the 4-8 Carolina Panthers.
I'm going with the Carolina Panthers in this game. CMC is back again. He's probably going to ball out, let's be honest. Going Panthers.
This is really setting up to not be a tie week because I'm going with the Broncos.
This is a good week.
This is a really good one. Going with the Broncos. They played good against Kansas City,
and
Carolina.
I can't argue with any of your picks.
Carolina is coming off a bye, though. So
you can't argue with any of my picks.
Next is my game of the week. We have the 11-1 Kansas City Chiefs heading to South Beach to take on the 8-4 Miami Dolphins.
The Dolphins have something to prove, but so does Kansas City. They're now the number 1 team in football, undisputed. I think everybody agrees that Kansas City is. They've got something to prove that we are number 1 for a reason. Going to Kansas City.
Hard to pick against Chiefs. It really is. It's really hard to pick the upset against the Chiefs, so I'm going Chiefs as well. Next, we have the 8-4 Tennessee Titans taking on the 1-11 Jacksonville Jaguars.
There's no way Mike Vrabel's play calling ruins this game to Tennessee.
Got to go Tennessee here. If they lose this one, then I'm fine with the loss. 0-12 New York Jets taking on the 8-4 Seattle Seahawks. Pretty good bounce back game here for the Seahawks. Yeah, Seattle. No need to talk about it. 8-4 Indianapolis Colts heading to Vegas to take on the 7-5 Raiders.
I'm going with the Colts here. I couldn't really make a decision. It's kind of tough. I'm going Colts.
It's a tough one, too. I also went with the Colts. Both of these teams, this is a big game for both these teams as well. These are the games that I love because they're pretty much playoff games before the playoffs start. You know, like these are games that you have to win these games. You can't afford to lose them, and I'm going with the Colts. Next, we have probably the game of the week. I should have started this one. The 9-3 Green Bay Packers going to Ford Field to take on the 5-7 Lions.
Listen, team players put their team first before their own personal good. I'm picking the Lions here. We need a Lions win. Will it happen? Probably not. Am I going to sacrifice?
Yeah, but you know damn well I'm going to pick them too.
But I could get one out of you here.
Well, yeah.
Is what I'm saying. If I picked Packers, I'm one that you don't have.
But then if the Lions win, you feel like a straight douchebag.
Yeah. No, it's Lions. Go Lions.
Yeah, I'm going Lions. This is a huge game. Like, if we lose this game, we're out pretty much. Like, we have to win out. The start of it all. We play Green Bay, then we play Tampa, then we play the Titans, then we play the Vikings.
We're probably going to win every one.
4 good football teams.
We'll probably win every game.
I don't know, but we got to beat the Packers, man.
Got to beat the Packers.
Next, 4-8 Atlanta Falcons taking on the 3-9 LA Chargers.
Come on, Justin Herbert and Austin Eckler.
I can't pick them, dude. I can't.
What?
Atlanta. They give up 45 to New England's offense.
Back,
Imagine the Falcons, what the Falcons are going to do to them. They actually have a good offense.
Yeah, I'm going Chargers.
Calvin Ridley is going to have a day in fantasy. Next, we have the 5-7 Washington football team at the 5-7 Niners. Another one of those games where whichever team loses this one, pretty much. And actually, Washington's really not out, but
Going San Fran.
going Washington, man. They're rolling right now, and they have to win. They want to win, make the playoffs. They can do it. I'm kind of rooting for them, low key, to win their division. So going Washington. Next, we have the 10-2 New Orleans Saints taking on the 3-8-1 Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles are having trouble with problems. And
Trouble with problems.
trouble with the quarterback. It still doesn't matter. They could tell me who's starting and I wouldn't care. It's still the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I assume. Actually, I don't know who's going to start because they could throw Wentz back in there.
Might as well.
Like
see.
you think Hurts would start, but I'm going New Orleans too. Though I mean, New Orleans can't lose a game like this. Sunday Night Football. We have the 11-1 Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the 9-3 Bills. What a game we have in store.
Going with the Bills.
See, I was gonna go with the Bills. But Pittsburgh's gotta they gotta make a statement. Pittsburgh has gotta, they lost to a bad team because if they would have beat the football team, guess what people would have said? Oh, you beat the football team. They gotta make a statement. They have to be a good team like the Buffalo Bills team that's rolling. That defense is pretty good. The reason they kind of lost against the football team was their run game was not there at all. It's got to step up. Hopefully James Conner's back. I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night. And then lastly, Monday Night Football, a big-time game as well. The Baltimore Ravens now, 4th straight primetime game, I'm pretty sure. 7-5 Ravens at the 9-3 Browns.
I'm going with Cleveland. I think all them guys want to prove that the Browns are for real this year. They're going. I've got the Browns here.
And once again, I don't think I've picked against them all year. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think I've picked them to lose all year.
Me either.
I really don't think so. But I'm picking them. Not just because, of Scuba. Like, it's just, I genuinely think the Ravens are bound to start winning some games. So I'm going with them. That wraps up our weekly picks. And just a couple more things we have to talk about before we end this episode. The college football playoff has pretty much stayed the same. With it being Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Ohio State. But not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after is championship weekend. And Notre Dame, Clemson are going to play again. So if Clemson wins and Notre Dame loses, they'll probably both get in. Mm-hmm. But if Clemson loses, they're not going to make it with 2 losses. So that opens up the door for some stuff. So what do you want, Bob Evans? I just declined the call. Sorry.
Dude, that is not good.
I did not mean to.
We might have to finish this episode.
Whatever. Lastly, college basketball. The Big Ten is 6-1 against the ACC.
Oh, the Big Ten is the best conference in
the
basketball.
Big Ten ACC challenge that they've been doing. Illinois beats Duke last night. Iowa beats UNC. Both pretty handled games, wasn't even close. But the close one that did happen last night was Kansas and Creighton. Did you get to see the end of this one?
I watched the highlights of the whole game.
Super good. Close the whole entire game. Pretty much Kansas, Jalen Wilson hits a 3 to give him the lead. And Marcus Zagorowski shoots a 3 with not much time left. Gets fouled on the 3. And
hits the first
2 and misses the last free throw. A guy who we were talking about last weekend. What a good game, though. I mean,
that has the
very
potential to mess you up, though, mentally.
Yeah.
Like, Nick Anderson, you might not be able to shoot free throws.
They hadn't won a nationally televised game since, a regular season national televised game since, 2006 or something, too. Would have been a big-time win, but...
I'll tell you what, the Big Ten is rolling. Iowa looks unreal. The only comparison I can come up with for Iowa was that Wisconsin team with Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker, even though they don't really have a Sam Decker. They just have a lot of really good shooters.
Yeah.
They have a couple guys. And I'll tell you what, Iowa is legit. Adam Miller is tough.
Wait.
Illinois.
Okay.
Sorry, Illinois is legit.
See, I think Iowa's more legit than Illinois, honestly.
I don't.
Iowa is
think
legit.
I
dude.
could see.
Because it's not. I was thinking that okay, it's just Luka Garza. It's not.
It's
dude.
not.
They all strap from
Yes.
three. They don't miss, dude.
No.
They do not miss.
And they're not line huggers.
They hit like 17 threes.
Yeah, 17, I think.
Yeah.
They're not line huggers. Like, they're shooting them from 3 feet behind the line.
And they're knocking them down. They're all shooting them. They had 2 guys shoot 5 of 7. They had the one kid hit 7 threes. I mean,
Luka Garza is a willing passer.
Yeah.
That only helps.
I really wonder where Garza goes in the draft because obviously he's a 4-year player and everything, but like,
I can see him
is
getting
he as
shut
high
down.
like a Obi Toppin?
No.
Not in this year's class, right?
No. I could see him getting shut down by like a really big, talented guy.
Like Kofi Coburn.
Yeah. I could see. I think he's going to eat Michigan State alive. Like, feast those games.
Yeah.
But I don't know because Michigan State's super
Michigan
athletic.
State's defense
and
has kind of been their key this year.
He
Yeah.
isn't lazy. He's just so slow.
Yeah.
So slow. But Hunter Dickinson, his size might help him.
I know last year, obviously Xavier Tillman was kind of the reason that Luka Garza didn't play good against State, but I mean, State has the formula at least, they knew what it took to stop Garza. So hopefully they can just put somebody in Tillman's place and see if it works as well.
Yep.
Michigan State and Virginia, it doesn't really get canceled. It's technically just delayed. It is going to happen at some point, but this upcoming Saturday is going to be a special episode. Make sure you tune in.
Big time.
Yeah.
We're going to have a huge special guest. Our first, like,
non-buddy special guest.
I was still buddy, but
but not like
close.
not just like our buddies,
Yeah. Yeah. We're super excited.
But yeah, that's it. Make sure to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts, and we'll see you Saturday.
Peace.